I don't see it. Hmm. I don't know if anyone can see or hear me over on Rumble, but this is just an experiment to see if it works. Oops. Basically, I'm trying to work my magic. Let's see if I can get this to work. I have multiple things working. At the moment, I'm just testing things. Testing yet another new channel, my Rumble account, which I barely use. I mean, experimental, seeing if it actually works. I don't see it. Okay, there we go. Hopefully somebody can. Okay, there we go. So this is just a test over on Rumble at the moment. So yeah. Apologies, my Rumble friends. This is just making sure that everything works over on Rumble. I'm hoping you guys can at least hear and see me in the lower left. If someone would please respond in chat, I would appreciate it. Not trying to put anyone on the spot. I had a heck of a time setting up Rumble. It's been interesting, I'll put it that way. It would be appreciated. I might have to set up a bot here in a minute, here in a little bit, for everything. So well, did anyone watch SC Live today? I guess not, probably. Uh I'm aware of folks over on Rumble that I don't have, or on the green platform I don't have, working stuff. So that was just a test. Folks on the mean green platform, I will probably be doing some stuff over there exclusively for you. This is just a test at the moment. Thank you for your patience. It's appreciated. And have a great day. I will be on as soon as possible. Later. How many did I get? Is it still streaming over there? Okay. That was kind of weird. Dang. Okay, folks elsewhere, how are we today? That was just me trying out something new to see if it worked. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just, experimenting a little bit. Kind of gonna have to do that, back and forth here and there. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, that was super boring. Normally, I don't like doing stuff like that, but, you know, where is it? Okay. So, we're going to. Hang on while I set up, folks. This is going to be a shorter stream today because unfortunately I have somewhere to be tonight. I didn't even update my stream. Update stream. Uh, sorry. June 14th, 2024. There. Honestly, if I can be honest, guys, yeah, I don't like these fluff ones, because they're boring. Okay. There. Where's the volume? Did I mute it?
find out a little bit more about how game development actually happens. Of course, nothing can actually be made in an hour. I mean, not maybe a rivet for that old freelancer model that was as big as the Idris once upon a time. But other than that, we do a compressed, shortened, hyper fast, super anxious for Alberto here hour to show you a little bit of the process. And this week, we're doing something, we got a twist on it that we've never ever done before. So before I get to what the twist is, let's introduce our developer compatriots. Meet me over at camera 2. Alberto here, hour to show you. Hi, camera 2. This is Alberto and Dan. Say hi, Alberto and Dan.
Hi, Alberto and Dan.
Hello, Alberto and Dan.
We rehearsed and everything. So Alberto is a concept artist from our vehicle and weapon teams. Dan is the sole member of the ship team. We made that joke last week. I can't. Just tell people what you actually do, Dan.
I'm a senior vehicle artist on the ship team.
Out of how many?
Loads.
Loads.
Yeah, it's like over.
I made a song about it.
Over 5.
Yeah.
It's over 5.
Kingsley Bonewalker, Nathan out of Parker,
Looks
Chris
like
Schwab,
I'm
and Curtis
having
Trump,
issues.
Alberto Patrono, been part of the commander, just Coffin, Rochelle, or two. I won't go through the whole thing. Last week, we attempted to create a vehicle concept in our 4th Making Ship Up special. Let's go ahead and show people what the vehicle was in the end. This was this. The brief was a 1970s chopper motorcycle inspired hover bike in the style of an alien manufacturer, probably Mirai, Gadtac, something around there. And yeah, a lot of folks liked it. It was pretty cool. And normally, that's where we would have ended. But this week, we wanted to show something that we've never, ever showed in the 1,386 videos that I've been responsible for Cloud Imperium Games. And that's the feedback process. So the feedback process, well, how would you describe the feedback process?
Tears.
Tears? Anything else?
Frustration.
Frustration?
Sometimes it's cool. I mean, you get to speak to people. I don't do that a lot. But
Okay, but tears and frustration were the first 2 words that come to mind. The feedback process is where an artist or a designer or whomever has spent all their time creating something that they love, that they enjoy, that other people might love and enjoy. And then they send it up the chain to the various directors who all have responsibility of different aspects of the games, and they destroy it. They remind you of all the things that you forgot. They see what you did, and while other people might like it, it just doesn't fit their fancy. You find out that there are other requirements involved. At this time, these people who are required to make those kind of animations are going to be busy, so you can't get into it that way. You're going to need to change the way to get in all manner of things. So what we did was we sent the episode and the image that you just showed off to several vehicle directors in the company and collected some feedback, which Alberto is going to attempt to process live for the second half of this Making Ship Up 4 special. So there are some curveballs in there. We did not let Alberto see the feedback until this morning. He did have to prep, his work area, so we had to give him a little heads up. But he saw it for the first time this morning, and let's go ahead and show some of the feedback that we got. So up front, the major first feedback was switch the manufacturer to RSI. Just completely different manufacturer. How often would you say that's happened in the past?
that we switch a manufacturer in the early process, it happens quite often. And to be fair, it's not a tragedy.
No.
Happens sometimes a little later. It depends, maybe if we do some rebalance to what the concept was and it doesn't fit the manufacturer anymore. That's something we have to do. It's something we know it can happen.
Right. And then make it a 2-seater. A pretty common request for those old 1970s choppers or whatnot. We did technically make it a 2-seater. We just gave the second seat to your dog.
Yeah, so we technically will make it a 3-seater.
Your dog, Bran. We have a little,
Yes.
little 3D printed Bran there. I'll put that there.
There he is.
Hi, Bran.
Hi, Ben.
And then a bunch of minor feedback. Add more framework, underlying structure. We have no canopy, so we don't get struts, but the idea of hardline running along the frame could be interesting. Lose the curves and add more sharper angles. That's a very RSI trait. Look to the Scorpius for inspiration. The Scorpius is one of our more recent RSI vehicles, not the most recent, but one of our more recent ones. Integrate the piano keys style dashboard buttons from the Scorpius in some form of HUD. We did not incorporate. Of course, you can't make a full-blown concept in an hour. We need some RSI layering of shapes. What's that mean?
Layering of shapes means that the surface is not constituted by a continuous layer, like, for example, the canopy of your computer is, but is actually made of literally layers, like an onion, that are cut with different shapes. Every shapes call on each other, and there is what we call echoing. Try to use a few established angles, use this one, and overlap them to create nice dynamic shapes.
Okay. It would be great to get the RSI diamond clamshell shape from the style guide. Could try it behind the rear of the seat or integrate it into the thruster design. I think I maybe think about integrating the RSI crab claw engine intakes into the sides of the main body. Give it an air intake like the Mantis nacelles, the Scorpius wings. All right, was this all? Or did we have a whole nother, we had a whole nother page, okay.
Oh, no.
And then some questions. What enter-exit animation is it using? Yeah. Do the wings transition for landing? Could they cocoon the player in a more streamlined flight mode to give more aerodynamic shape for faster straight line speed? Where are the maps? How do you access components? Does it have a relay position? Does it have personal storage? The doggo needs a bone.
Sure does.
So yeah, Alberto, you have your work cut out for you. So we've eaten up 6 minutes of the show going through the thread. This was just the feedback of 2 people, by the way. In normal vehicle reviews, there is a whole host of chefs in that particular kitchen who all have various needs and things that they own, aspects of the game that they own that they have to look out for. So we decided to try to make this as manageable within an hour as possible. We're still not going to get everything in an hour. But all right, so we're back in Blender. Show is yours, Alberto. Where do we start?
Yes, so this is not going to be done in an hour.
Yeah.
Like, this is not going to be done in a month. But there are a bunch of things that we can start thinking about. For example, the transition to a different manufacturer and the change in metrics.
Sorry, I'm being so
having a second
quiet. I'm
seat
letting them explain.
are probably the most important things. We have here a bunch of boxes in green and red. They are the face that have to face the player when the components get removed. So we have, for example, the cooler. We have probably this is the radar. We have the computer and the power plant.
Right, so you have to consider, you can't just make a thing be any shape and form you want.
Exactly.
You do have to consider the internal components.
Yes, and components are generally, for small vehicles, one of the things we crushed our heads in the vehicle concept team the most. It's really one of the toughest situations. Single-seater, well, double-seater with a dog, but single-seater kind of. This is an easy fix, done. Aldo, how do my character get in and out of it?
Charlie in the chat says they didn't mention get rid of the capes, so
No.
that's nice.
That's absolutely. We are gonna hide them temporarily so that I can look around, but it's just hidden.
Yeah, don't panic, guys. They're still there.
So where do you start?
So I start with the metrics, I think is the best way.
Okay.
This is a new pose for this character, and the old pose was this one. So I want to make it compatible with the characters from the Pulse because they move. So
It's worth noting these are earlier ideas for what the Pulse concept could look like as well, what we were just looking at there.
So you're gonna use the pulse as a guide for the metrics,
Yes.
but not necessarily for the style.
yeah, I just will use this character for testing the entrance and exit animation. So let's hide temporary again the wings, and I have just to make sure that the final position, that the starting position makes sense.
Let's move Brand maybe. He's getting a little too
Sorry, Kiwi.
friendly with there you go. I've survived 9 years, I want to make 10. No, I've been here 10 years. Oh, I can't remember.
I'll make sure I take all the pieces. We don't care about the final position because we tweaked the final position in a chopper situation, but I at least need to understand that the resting position works and this one doesn't. So I have to make sure it does.
Yeah, this is an important element that we sort of glossed over last week, I think, is the importance of metrics in determining your shape language for the vehicle. It's not that we can't do anything we want. I mean, it's our game. You can make it, but the more outside you go from existing metrics and stuff, the more additional work is necessary. New metrics have to be created. New animations have to be created to match those metrics and stuff like this. It's additional work for additional teams, and that can sometimes delay a vehicle beyond the point where you want it to be ready.
Yeah, one of the worst things that can happen, and it's something we do everything we possibly can to avoid, is being like halfway through, let's say like a grey box phase, so you've already signed off on white box, and then you realise that one of the metrics was wrong.
Yeah.
Even something as simple as like, so a really easy example is a chair needs to be 50 centimetres off the floor. That's just something that's pretty locked in across our game. And then like a bar stool is 75 centimetres. If something like that's even off by 5 centimetres, that can have knock-on effects, because if you have like a desk that's then been made to that height and that's integrated into the floor or even the wall, it can get quite complicated really fast, something as simple as a 5 centimetre chair.
And metrics themselves can change over the course of a project's development.
Yeah, yes.
I think backers will famously remember the Anvil Carrack. The Carrack was originally concepted at one set of metrics that we understood
Jesus,
in
don't bring
2014,
that up,
2015
Garrett.
when it was first concepted.
Come on, man.
But when it came time to actually build it in 3D years later, the metrics for the entire project had changed. The Precision Universe had come online. We now understand how much more room that we need for the players to get around to accommodate for third-person camera in certain situations and stuff. And the interior of the Carrack had to be dramatically altered. And because our vehicles are often, well, they're always 1-1, internal and external, that necessitated changes to the exterior.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no.
Bad news, I have to transfer the cape.
Well,
yeah, that makes sense. That makes
you can put another cape in that guy's face,
Yeah, but
and you can have 3. But yeah, you mentioned the Carrack, but yeah, that's also like any kind of backlog ship we've got, depending on how old it is. So obviously you guys saw at Fleet Week, you saw the Polaris flying around. That's presented challenges as well because of those like legacy metrics. Obviously something that we are acutely aware of when we go into the white box phase. So it's something we do everything we can to avoid, but yeah, it's difficult sometimes.
I do want to mention this early enough in the process. Last week, Obro, you mentioned that you might want to consider a sidecar.
yes.
So you do have to make it a 2-seater, but nothing about the instructions said it had to be 2 in the same cockpit.
Put Bran
I just
in
thought
a
it
sidecar.
was incredibly cute to have Bran on the drive, but nobody even said that we cannot have 2 dogs.
2 dogs.
But I would like to focus more on the transition to
Fair enough.
RSI first,
Fair enough.
because that's our priority, and we have these elements that we stole from the Pulse last week.
Yeah, they're very Mirai, aren't they?
They are Mirai, but it's compatible in some aspect with RSI. They don't clash too much.
Do you think
But for example,
your art director would agree with that statement?
We're about to find out.
Ben message done. My
You've got
team is
Jared
off. Okay, perfect. But the first element that has to go if we're doing RSI is the circular one.
Yeah,
So I think this looks much
it
better.
still looks pretty cool, yeah.
I-
You could put like some kind of like
And is it-
hover plate underneath in between the arms, right? Pointing down. So that
Yeah.
whole front section does it.
I got a message on Teams from Dustin. Dustin warning us that the mics were actually live during our audio test earlier. Dustin, thanks for looking out.
Nice one.
We were aware, but I appreciate you looking out all the same.
We have this element that is way too soft, but I would like to try an experiment.
Not
in
a
this
lot of soft round shapes in RSI.
case. No, at all.
I mean, that's not to say that there can't one day be an RSI ship that has soft shapes. We have this argument. I see this argument happen a lot, on content creators' pages, YouTube's and Twitch and things. We even have it internally.
RSI.
There you go. Instant RSI. this idea that a manufacturer can only have one style. But you look at Ford.
Yes,
Just look at Ford in the 50s, and the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. You know, look at just the Mustang alone. Look at just the Mustang over the years. And our manufacturers are supposed to have been around for hundreds, 200, some of them for 300 years. So even this exact same make of car can go through dramatic shape language and visual changes over the decades. So I understand I've always understood the idea that, okay, RSI should always be angular and whatnot and stuff like this. And we're continuing that here today. You know, I'm not.
Yeah, but there's no reason it can't evolve over time.
There's no reason there can't be an era where a different CEO comes in charge of RSI, and they decide, no, in my era, I want to do something different.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when that new Dodge Charger and the Challenger came out? Yeah. How everybody started making cars that look like that. Ford was making them, Chevy was making them. You saw big changes in the Camaro. Those were all inspired by those original Challenger and Chargers from Dodge.
There's also examples where like laws come into place around safety that in like the real car world, like a lot of cars now are really rounded because I think there's like a rule that you're not allowed to have under a certain angle. It's one of the reasons the Cybertruck can't be sold in certain countries because it's just like a spear in like some of its panels. But then if you look at like the older cars, like the old Volvo, it's like really boxy. I mean, that's kind of its thing, right? And then you look at the new one, they're super rounded now. And partially because of aerodynamic and fuel consumptions, and then also just the visual palette of consumers has changed over time.
There's something that's happened with electric cars. I'm not going to get too far off on the cars, but so many electric cars are so ugly looking. So it's like there's nothing inherent about the technology that requires your car.
I'm glad Jared said something. I mean, honestly, I would buy one, but they're just so
But everything from
ugly.
the Prius to,
I mean,
I think that's where Tesla first started. They started making extra cars that actually look like cars and not these weird shape box. And then they, of course, went back, as you said, with the Cybertruck. And
some of them
a lot
look
of it's
like
because of
go-karts.
their production lines. They're like, if you look at Audi, for example, they just kind of, and Mustang, they just kind of like bolting over their front grills because they don't need to cool a radiator anymore. And they can use the same body panels.
I mean, I don't claim to be any kind of expert in this, but it's just I always like, when I looked at Mitsubishi, I have trouble saying it, but Mitsubishi makes giant 18-wheeler tractor trailers. They make tanks, and they make something like the 3000 GT, and it's like it's all the same manufacturer.
Lamborghini make tractors as well.
Ben is saying RSI itself has multiple art styles and already has evolved a fair amount depending on its age. So, there you go. And he's true. He's true. Yeah, that's English. He's right.
Third generation from RSI.
Oh yeah. You look at something like the Connie, and you look at something. You look at what's the Mantis.
Yeah.
Some basic silhouette reads that are the same, but the down in the details is drastically different. I love the Mantis.
Yeah.
The visual. I don't like its use. I want a fighter variant. I want a two-person fighter variant of the Mantis. Ben, John, remove the swirly thing and put a turret in there like it's a Hurricane. That's what I want. That's too cool looking. It's too cool looking.
Like you talk about the, when you said that like RSI could get a new CEO and like decide, oh, we want to change the in-game lore, like visual direction, but that happens almost in the studio. Like Alberto, I'm sure like concept artists join the team and then they have like new ideas for like different stuff for the manufacturer, and that kind of like in a way achieves the same result, right?
Yeah. Well, as a concept artist, we have the duty to continue the vision of who came before us.
Yes.
And we cannot make something personal about anything or everything we do. But of course, our minds will influence, in the end, everything. It just have to be consistent. Doesn't mean that you cannot express personality towards that. So in the long term, it will change.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake It's a mistake to think of any company as a monolith, as this unchanging thing.
Yes.
We're not the same place we were in 2012, in 2016, and 2024 and stuff. Each new person that joins the team brings something to the alchemy.
Yeah.
And you know, if they're a highly talented, skilled, educated, experienced developer, of course we're going to take this new feedback, these new processes, these new ideas about the very nature of how to make games in and adjust our processes. That happens with anybody. You know, we're not unique in that regard.
I think as well there's
Okay.
like,
07.
even earlier.
Yeah, Ben wanted
Hey
a
Brian,
line,
what's
a
up,
dominating
man?
line. So
Didn't
we're
see you
using this
arrive,
because
man.
we're
Sorry
on a-
about that.
We're on a motorbike, so
I've
Jacob
been
Bell says Scorpius is the two-seater
doing
Mantis
a
with
lot
a
of
tree. Yeah, but I want it to
testing
look like the
today,
Mantis.
so sorry about that, man.
Don't understand.
How are you?
It looks cool, and I want to look cool.
and looks there is enough space for
Mantis looks
them
so
to
zoomy.
pass.
I want to zoom in the Mantis.
See, these
I'm
kind
allowed
of
to
shows
want-
are
want
kind
things.
of a backdrop that
Let's find
people
a place
should
for these guys.
use to discuss things.
This is something I have a lot of respect
know,
for concept artists in particular because it's a very quick way
You
to
can
get your
discuss,
concept
hey,
ignored by a
the
production
direction the
artist
game's
is to not
going, you
pay attention
know.
to the components.
So,
So like these are like really cool. Something
for
Mark
example,
is very
I'm kind
like,
of
it's first thing you do in white
curious
box
whether
is like make
Roadmap
sure there's space
Roundup
for your
was so
components.
bland.
It's really important. And if there isn't
last
room
week.
in the concept for them, you have to
This
change
week.
the concept.
Sorry,
And that
this
obviously,
week.
at that point, you're in danger of changing the visual direction that the concept artist was,
It just
was aiming
makes
for.
me a little worried.
So
you
it's really
know?
important for the concept team, you know, to accommodate for these things because if they don't, then the design's at risk of changing.
Oh yeah, I think we talked a little bit about it last week. We've had some legendary concept artists come through this place. You know, Ryan Church and George Hall and Jim Martin and stuff like this. But
By the way,
a
I
lot of
got
some of them
another,
have at times struggled with the
streaming
one nature.
channel
You know,
set
you
up
can, you know,
for
for a movie or a
everyone's
TV show, you
viewing
can make
pleasure.
pretty much whatever. You don't have to worry
I'm
about
not
metrics.
sure
You don't have
how
to
it's
worry
gonna
about everything
work.
They'll
fitting.
have different models for
long-term
different
plans,
shots.
Yeah,
but
exactly. The inside of the Millennium
might
Falcon doesn't fit in the
experiment with
outside.
it
That's
once I can.
famously that one. But
Yeah.
here, it's like we require a different standard for that stuff because it does all have to fit.
Yeah.
And some have adapted well. I'm not calling out any specific person. Some have done really
Good to
well
have
at adapting.
options.
And then, you know, some struggled and were like, you know, it's not for us. It's like, okay, you know, thank you for your work. You know, some still great work. Where was it? Somebody asked, Vulcanator says, is this going to end up being an actual in-game ship? Chances are no, Vulcanator. We've done, of these streams where we've had somebody make something, a prop or a costume or an alien race or ships or whatever, a few of them have made it into game. Famously, the UEE, the vintage UEE uniform from like 100 years in the past ended up making it into the game. The Pico Ball ended up making it into the game. The little bobbleheads, the little marine bobblehead, which everybody absolutely hated when we made that show. Boy, the comments on that show were.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I remember that one.
That's a core memory there. A little bit of trauma on that one, but that ended up making it into the game and ended up making it as a piece of physical merchandise sold at last year's Citizen.
Thank you, Brian.
So there's been a few things that have
Brian,
started here and been
you're
created
my
here that have
spirit
made it in the game.
animal.
But if you're playing
You are
averages,
my spirit
no,
animal
I wouldn't,
today.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I might have done
Where
something
is
stupid.
my guardian?
Oh, I bet you did.
Yep, I
Where
deleted
the
the
hell is my
animations.
guardian? Or whatever they're gonna call
How
it.
many Control
you know?
Z's do you got?
Nah,
I got a good story that's similar to this actually. Look, so Alberto's just lost his animation now, so he's lost however much time.
Where
can
the
be
hell?
fixed, can be fixed.
Today I
Well,
was doing
hold
some
on,
feedback.
hold on,
Alberto
hold on,
gave,
no, no, no.
actually.
If
and,
it's a
3DS Max decided to
Mirai
crash
ship,
in the
it's
middle
not
of me
alien.
integrating said feedback. And let's just say that feedback was very, because I had to do it twice, it became very clear in my mind exactly what I
That's
needed to
the
do.
The
problem.
second time was better than the first time.
It was, yeah, it genuinely was better, yeah. It's not
I
uncommon.
was kind of
if you have to do
hopeful
something
My
it
twice.
would
feedback
be
was so
alien, but it's
mind-shattering.
Mirai.
I couldn't
Remember?
handle it.
It has alien
Now your
tech,
animations now will be even better
but
than they were
it's
before.
like
Yes.
it's a hybrid though.
On the
I
second
get
time,
it,
they
I
always
get
are.
it. But they're counting it under
They
the
better be.
Mirai brand. So I assume
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but probably
but we
CIG
want to
saying they're
find-
staving it off till
Ben Curtis
November.
writes, I've got to get home, so I can't watch anymore, but ask Dan where the blast shields are.
When are they gonna let me do it?
Amy.
So I asked John about this actually because I really wanted to do it after the Sulan, but the Polaris was higher priority. So Carrick fans and Polaris fans will have to fight out what they would have preferred to have sooner. So
The ever-changing priorities of game dev.
yeah, it's a real thing. But I haven't forgot. They won't let me.
Yeah, and I'm upset that it's not out either. I was actually kind of expecting, hey, a little news on it, you know? If I'm being honest.
There you go. And that's why we do it twice sometimes.
Is that why?
Yes.
Definitely not.
Yes,
because we
Jared.
accidentally-
No, Mark 9 Hawk. We were talking about the blast shields for the Carrick. Jared is going to make it into the game as Jared, once Chris figures out how to transport people into the game. Oh, this comes up semi-regularly over the years as I approach. I'm somewhere around a decade, having been here now. I am just fine being the unescapable force of everything outside Star Citizen. Like there's enough. There's enough of this. Like look, go to
It's
camera
not
one.
up to-
Nobody needs to see more of this. Like we had a little fun little gag at the end of ISE last quarter, but nobody needs to see more of this. It's like the game itself should be the place where you can escape from that. So
I don't
I've
think
already
my
been immortalized
YouTube
in a
updated
couple
chat.
of ways, a few little props here and
This
there.
is
and
a
that's more than enough for
covering
me.
of
But I appreciate the sentiment.
ISE live and just some discussion.
Well, let's see to
I
find a way to
apologize.
give
It's not
access
letting me
to the
update it.
components
Sorry.
once they're laid out.
I apologize if it's misleading. I don't know.
Isn't Jared's name already in the game as an NPC pilot? Well, the NPC pilots are actually come from a generator. There's actually a list of first names and a list of last names, and
Hey, man, I
when it
agree.
auto-generates random
If I'm
NPCs,
being
it
honest,
just picks
I
one
love
from
the
one.
Sulans.
So yeah,
My only gripe
I
with
think
it
just about
is it just has such
just
a
about
small
every
amount
employee
of
that was
cargo.
here at the
I love
time
the
of the
Sulan's unique
list generation is in
shape
there, as well as a bunch of
general
generic
flight
name lists that you
profile.
can download
We
from the
own
internet.
one in
But yeah, my
buyback,
dad
but
actually
I've never flown it.
caught
It just
a Jared
looks
Huckabee
awesome.
in there and sent me a picture once. That was
It's
around the
our
time I found out
cheapest
he was a
alien
player
ship, too.
and a supporter of the
It's
game.
like
I was
what,
oh,
$80 maybe?
Hi, Dad.
That's a good idea. I like how you're doing that.
Yeah. There's something broken. I don't know what.
My will to
Blender.
live.
They will fix it.
Yeah, we will.
You just leave it on the list for 3D art. Like,
If there's something that is too boring to do, they can fix it. I'm joking.
No, he's not.
it's got kind of a Flintstones car kind of vibe here. with
I'm
the
joking,
feet coming
Corey.
out the
I'm
bottom.
joking.
I can hear Corey Bamford
Yeah, Mark,
charging from the other building right now.
Mark II.
Now Mark's already gone home.
Oh, yeah. It's coming back from.
Mark has a little thing we like to call work-life balance.
As well.
Never heard about it.
It's a funny looking 300i. This
That's
thing, kinda.
Just to give a bit more dynamic
I'll
shapes and
admit it.
getting out of
Yeah.
the aesthetics of Mirai. That is very performance-based or compatible with RSI, but I'd like to fill up this area. a
I'll
little more.
definitely admit it.
Why do your sounds have accents when you don't? I don't know what that means.
What?
Lady Space Patrol in chat asking a question I don't
Well, I
understand.
like her. She's awesome. Lady Space Patrol's awesome. Sorry. Like,
For like
them.
3D artists that are
Apologies.
watching this or people who don't appreciate it, there's like when you see like a little detail, see like that cut-in that Alberto removed because it doesn't fit the style. Those little extra like flourishes are so annoying to put into a polygonal model, but they add so much. And I'll often like see people like post work on on Reddit, like ship ideas and stuff like that, like their own ship concepts. And I think one thing I'd say to those people, and some of them look really, really, really cool, but definitely like just because something's awkward or difficult to implement, that adds complexity to your shape and will usually make it look better if it was, you know, done in a deliberate way. So you see there we got that shape transition.
I fixed the
Alberta's
name.
like filleting down and then it's creating this nice sharp angle back. It would be very easy to just not do that, but he has, and now it makes this whole thing look way nicer.
Do you ever, when you get to the 3D art phase,
Yeah.
do you ever take something that was Geo in the concept and make it Palm in the actual?
Yeah, for sure. So for those of you that aren't aware what POM is, it's basically like a decal, so a floating sticker that gives the game engine information which essentially fakes depth or height into that sticker.
Yeah, it's basically this.
Yeah, so you see there that looks like it goes in, but it's
Reality is
actually
just a
not.
plane.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. And you can save so much memory.
There are ships where as you're walking through, you look down, there's a grate, and you can see a bunch of wires beneath the grate.
The wires
and
are not.
The wires are not there. Neither is the grate, for that matter.
Yeah, it's all.
It's just a fancy, shifting texture there.
Yeah, it's very, very powerful tool.
But it's one of the ways we can add a lot of detail, but maintain decent performance.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the list,
Here's your list.
I'm not doing the piano keys thing, okay? Sorry, Ben. It's a great idea.
Have a double echo going.
You've got all 4 components.
Yeah, I got the components with the relay, got turned into the can, so we can put it somewhere else. Personal storage, we put it in the seats because it just makes sense. Like
Put it where?
under the seat.
Okay.
So what do you, like on the poles, you click,
Okay.
it pops out.
So you can just say it's done.
I like this helmet because
Imagine thinking you'd finished and then someone just handed you a piece of paper with all this on, like that.
You didn't have to imagine that's what life is.
That is my life. Well, that's Alberta's life today.
it happens a bunch of times.
What about weapons?
Yeah, exactly, good idea. What about weapons?
Put missiles in the wings.
No,
Why?
because I don't have the S. What weapons do we want for this kind of stuff?
Say missiles, chat.
Sorry?
Tell him to put missiles on it.
All right, chat. A for ballistics, B for laser, C for missiles, D for...
Chat, you don't want to see me having a panic attack live.
That's right, chat.
Kinda do.
Press C to pay respects. Good work. Looks like you're putting some missiles on it, champ.
Actually, it looks like all 3.
That'll do.
There's just a lot of A, B's, and C's on there. So I don't actually have a tool with which to parse
We're
that.
artists. We don't
It was
do
a
math.
mistake for me to even ask chat. So I'm just going to say they're saying all 3.
Okay.
07, chat. Good work.
This will be the RSI overkill.
Yeah. They did want a MAV on it as well. That's something.
He did ask where the maps were.
No,
One of the notes were asking where the maps were.
Okay. Maps are quite simple to place for such small.
Yeah, I think that's an easy win.
In general, in our first pass, we do just little ones, barely placed, not confirmed. Is this a rocket? Yeah. Is it okay? I don't know the size of what it should be, but I believe it shouldn't be too big.
Well, I blame the designer for not giving us the proper
Okay.
spec.
Blame Mark, always. How many?
Sorry,
You
I'm
could
being
put them like
super
under the
quiet,
wing,
chat.
or the winglet.
Oh, yeah.
just,
Into the
yeah.
front little winglets.
Oh. Sounds horrible idea, but sure.
What's wrong with that idea?
You want rockets at the very, very front where you're likely to bump into something.
Look at that.
Oh come on! It looks like a
That-
fighter jet.
That is. Well, yeah.
Okay. This would absolutely be a G.I. Joe or Cobra vehicle at this point. Just random rockets.
There it is.
That's one too many. Redo.
Only one.
Only one.
No.
If this was actually RSI, it would be like integrated on a non-planar face.
Integrated like
Yeah.
here
Yeah,
with some
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It would,
very
like-
nice booyah.
No, you got
Yeah.
you got to do it. It's RSI.
Do I have to? Okay, sure.
You're right. No, you make a good point. They would be integrated. Now the laser guns would be on little pivots.
Yes.
On little.
I'm going to
Can't think of the
explain
word.
my therapist why I cried all afternoon today.
That was before this. Wait.
That was cool.
Well, that was for yesterday. That's just because I miss my dog.
Yeah. So the front should be two little size ones on gimbals. That's the word. Only took me 90 seconds to remember the word gimbal.
Watch them think this says something interesting.
It just says what we put on the slides earlier.
Someone's in Photoshop right now, trying their best. Unfortunately, it's boring.
Feedback is boring. Fortunately, feedback is boring.
As always.
Crab claw engines.
I have no idea what that means.
It's like you could call it a clamshell if you wanted to.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's the same kind of principle. You know how the Scorpius has like, it's kind of like wide, kind of rectangular engines that like,
Yes.
they go like that.
Like in Star Wars.
No, like in Star Citizen.
Okay.
Is this a replay? Ask
So much
Infused. No.
typing.
This is part 2 of last week's show, where we take the thing we made
So
and
much typing.
utterly change it because of feedback. A crucial part in the concept process. I've never gotten to showcase it before because nobody was willing to come back the next
Alright.
week.
I mean, I was on the edge.
One thing I wanted to mention, talking about the Mavs on this list, one thing that the players might not know about Mavs, which is actually something I found really cool when I started working on the ship team, is where they are on the ship genuinely makes an impact to the design. So I remember on the Fury, we had very limited space to put Mavs, and it was like design were like, can you please get this Mav as far forward as you can? Which if you look at the canopy on the side, Alex managed to make it so actually comes out from the body forward, because we were asked to get it as far forward as you can. And then when we did the racing variant of the Fury, a Mav got put on the wing where the gun was because they wanted another one even further forward, which is probably the reason why it handles so much better, because it's got better turning potential. So that was really cool when I first started trying to integrate it.
This is a bit, but
It's not your best work.
It's not my best work. It will do, okay? Please.
Maybe you just delete the third one.
No, too late. I did it. Next feedback session. So RSI is a bit more space and less performance, I guess, than Mirai. So I don't want to have shapes like this.
Right.
I'd rather something that streamlines from beginning to end.
Oh, and the RSI style intake be good for the front. That was mentioned in the feedback.
Yeah, the clamshell thing.
How much of this is
I
left?
thought that was the engine.
Oh, another 20 minutes. Yay!
But the engine or the intake?
I get to wait another
Look at the
20 minutes. Oh,
Check
this
it.
is dope.
Literally, check.
Oh, that's goofy.
It just says clamshell shape.
Yeah, but what was he talking
Intakes.
about? Intakes, okay.
I really don't know how to interpret.
Wait, it says crab claw for the intakes, and then clamshell just in general.
Let's go look at the Scorpius. You still got the Scorpius over there?
So you see the front's like,
Ah.
and then if you look at the back,
mean
it's
this?
quite similar. No, he's talking about
those
this.
things there. Those things.
And if you look at the back, you see it's kind of square.
Okay, I'll try.
Oh, that's a good wireframe.
Yeah, this is a production model, so it's kind of heavy.
I thought you were going to say something else about it.
It's made by monkeys.
Must be a slow day.
Is this the Antares? I can't tell which
No,
one it is.
no,
it's
it's
a
not,
normal
no,
Scorpius, yeah. I was trying to work it out from the back.
I don't have that many bad things to say about you.
Why didn't you ask
Spider-Man.
for a non-triangulated version?
Because I did it 15 minutes before coming.
Yeah, we
because
didn't-
I find out about all of this this morning.
And
I
you know-
didn't give him time to prep.
So for context, this wireframe looks crazy.
He actually has to spend his day doing his actual job
Yeah, he
before
does.
he gets to come.
He's helping me with mine earlier, which is very nice of him. And now I'm just annoying him.
You always do anyway.
Yep. But yeah, for people who don't know, you see the Scorpius mesh has like got triangles literally everywhere. That's because game engines can only read triangles. So even though we typically model with n-gons and quads and not many triangles, when it goes into game, under the hood it gets triangulated is the term, which just means turn to triangles.
Oh yeah, just shrink that and make that the two things in the front.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh.
This is called lazy design,
That's pretty cool.
and it works.
This would be hell on earth to integrate on a production side. So definitely do it.
Yeah, sure, because
That looks pretty cool.
torturing John Crew is a good thing.
The Dollar Live says Alberto is a master of lazy design.
The dollar is Lathe,
Wow.
Excuse me?
whom I stopped moving
Wow.
the mouse. He sure deserves more.
Thought your mom was watching the show. I was like,
That hat is very comfortable.
It is actually. I see why you wore it so much, Jared, through the pandemic.
I'm sorry, say that again?
This hat is really comfortable.
Okay. Let's give it up with the normals. Easy. Boy, I'm so blind.
Phaedron says, some say lazy. I say working efficiently smarter.
Nah, it's Lathe.
How do we make it look more RSI? Just chuck a bunch of RSI stuff on it.
Yeah, after a while, they start
It's
looking all
working.
the same.
Does that affect the entry-exit on him?
No, because they will move.
Okay. Oh, that would be pretty cool, actually.
You want to give it the Mantis QED?
That's right.
A QED hover bike. That'd be about as useful as the Rock DS.
Probably more useful.
With or without?
Ask them.
With or without?
Which one?
The
The winglets, do you want them or not?
I like them.
what is happening here? Global, medium, water. Yeah, today is giving me a lot of weird issues.
Is the keyboard finally rebelling?
Trying to think what else we got. You haven't done
The
the maps
maps.
yet, have you?
No.
You need to do a map, don't you?
Let's do the maps. You know what? You'll keep it like this with mustaches.
You could also cocoon the player in a more streamlined flight mode to give a more aerodynamic shape for faster straight line speed.
Oh, that was the thing with the wings collapsing. We did that.
We don't
Yeah,
know.
and I already.
Now, maybe you should add a windshield just so you can get those RSI struts in. Just like put a windshield up there where it's only got the tiniest triangle of actual glass. And the rest is all struts.
Yeah, just put a bar through the center of the player view while they're flying.
Damn.
This.
Dang, we're just.
Now that's
Perfect.
Just for the dog.
suddenly feels much more familiar to the Connie owners.
It is. Who else is
I think
hoping
Curtis stopped
that
watching, right?
we get
He did, yeah.
something cool for ISC next week?
I want a
The
job. on
last
Monday.
2 weeks seem to have been a
This one,
slog,
possibly.
kind of. At least to me.
No, stop procrastinating.
Alien Week,
Let's do the maps.
no big concepts.
take this
you
guy
know,
out.
Could you take
just-
the Mav off the
It
off
kind
the
of feels a
Scorpius?
little, you know,
Possibly. Where did he put it there?
lackluster, I
It's
guess.
Big.
Shrink it. Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't.
Oh,
know
is that how you do
My
it?
opinion.
That's the one. I forgot. Is it R or S in a Blender to scale?
Yes.
There you go. I know things.
Oh, did we just...
Don't worry, this isn't max. It'll come back.
When was the last time you saved?
It saves automatically.
Oh, that's such a.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, since we're waiting, tomorrow there is the Bar Citizen in Manchester, and thank you to Chris Lowe that printed a lot of this. We're gonna give about 30 of them
Let me use my camera. We can get closer to my thing.
to everyone who comes to me or Dan and says, Bran is a good boy.
It's got to be closer to my face beam.
And it didn't crash. As soon as I said Bran,
Yeah, so what he was saying is that there is a Bar Citizen here in Manchester tomorrow. It's at Cargo. Just Google Cargo Manchester, that's the name of the place. Alberto will be in attendance and he'll give little 3D printed brands to anybody who, I don't know, pushes them or something.
Now he has to come up and say Bran is a good boy,
Oh, you have to,
because otherwise we're just going to get people like you. That's how we're going to find out who watched the stream or not.
you have to say Bran is a good boy?
Bran is a good boy.
or any other.
Bonus points to say Chow Bran. If you say Chow Bran, that's even
Probably easier.
There you go. Back to work. That's enough of a break.
What men's then do to not go to a psychologist?
Not go to what?
To a
Psychologist.
therapist? To therapy?
I thought you said toxicologist. I was like, what?
No. Not my stuff.
Does it have a relay?
Yes.
Very good.
I don't know where, but it does.
Totally off topic, but would Jared ever grow his hair back? Grow? Is it just?
We miss Hobo Jared.
It's
I don't know what it is.
summer now, so
No. Yeah. it's-
Live captions, a blender.
No, not live caption. It was like some Windows update with AI, of course.
Okay. What else we got? Let's go through the list, shall we? Change manufacturer to RSI.
I am not done with the.
That's kind of still happening.
Dollar Live got timed out by Knight Rider.
Who got timed out?
Dollar
It's
Live, who was that? Lath?
boring.
The dollar. You
Yeah,
got-
Lath got timed out by Knight Rider.
Thank you, Knight Rider.
So see,
Make it a
if you've ever been timed out by Knight Rider, that was a CIG employee that just got timed out by Knight Rider.
Yeah, there's no safe.
Good job, Knight Rider.
Thank you, Rider.
Keeping us safe. Make it a two-seater. Well, it's a three-seater, so there you go. 50% extra seats, or 100%. I don't
These
even know
are-
the maths.
I feel like
Add
going
more
to
framework
sleep
underlying
right
structure.
now.
You did that, didn't you?
It's gonna
Kind
be a
of.
bit time-consuming.
You did that.
Another.
I'd say you
You know,
did enough when you
I would
extended the
enjoy
front
these
bit out to
more
match
if they
the
were
thing.
actually designing
We'll
things
just say that's fine.
going in the game.
Integrate the
And
piano
normally
key
I
style
don't
dashboard.
complain, but
Yeah,
Probably
not doing that.
Don't have time for that, do we?
I know they're showing
RSI
off how
layering.
they
I do want to
work
give
on
at least
things,
one control.
but it
one
just
HUD.
feels
We haven't done any interface
Kind of.
whatsoever, do
We
we?
Eh?
put the pillar in the way, didn't we?
yeah.
We went the anti-HUD.
There you go. That's a HUD.
Yeah. Stick your texture there.
Really, our HUD
Do we,
planes
do we
actually
just
do.
add like
Oh, the
maybe
bone,
a
the
string?
bone, the bone, the bone.
The bone. Nice.
Oh, yeah, wait. Modeling a bone in Blender.
Just-
It's dangerous.
Oh, yeah, that is dangerous actually.
I have
This
to do
is
it.
high risk. Make sure you do it the other way symmetrically,
Yes.
not the way that you normally would.
Yes, smart.
Go
they've
ahead,
cut- they've
go
cut
back,
to
go
the
back
wide
to the
shot.
screen shared. You don't have to be, just be careful.
Yes, this is the correct way to do it. If you'd done it the other way, we'd have been in trouble.
I mean, I did it the other year, so
Okay, so the bone.
I'm still working.
I don't see the bone in the list.
It was
Although I
on
think it's
the-
further down.
No, it was in the one we
Oh,
have
it's
in
in the
the
other one.
desktop.
Okay. Oh, that was the personal storage, yeah. Okay, we did that. Done that. Exit Anyman, yeah.
I feel like we can take that one straight away, but I feel like we should add at least one screen to satisfy the.
Just extrude that bit up.
Yeah, like a little, just like a little
Extrude
TV or
that.
something.
There you go.
There's got to be some kind of instrumentation.
There you go.
I'm trying, Ben. Your employees are unruly. Get rid of the strap.
Get rid of the screen, did you say? Get it in his mouth. Why is it there? There you go. Make it a bit smaller.
No, it's a good.
Is that alright, that? There you go.
Brand's worth a bigger bone.
Okay, Redditors, all yours.
Good luck, Reddit.
Get rid of that.
Not plain. Right, next. Mavs done. Wing transition done. Components done. Really, this is easy. Look at this. Relay position, we're calling that done. Bone, done. Components are all done. Player's path to entry is obscured by the mechanism. That was done now, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was done. I broke the animations again, but it's fine.
Upon going into landing state, the volume for the ship's silhouette changes in a way that will not make it compatible with most. Mark, why are you suggesting that? No MFDs or HUD elements. No one's worried about the silhouette of this ship. It looks too cool to just change it. I think Mark's worried that it can't fit into the UGFs. Like if we wanted to drive it around inside there.
Then buy a Pulse.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark wants us to be able to. I've seen people getting like the Fury into Microtech and stuff like that. That thing's
Really?
crazy. Yeah, they're literally flying it around the spaceport. Although the guy who's doing it's like really passive, like he's not shooting anyone, which is very. I've got a lot of respect for that level of restraint.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Look at this.
Resolve this bit, I think, on the front a little bit. You see this piece?
This one?
No, like shell the kind of bonnet.
Huh?
You see the bonnet here?
I don't know what a bonnet
Okay,
is.
so we got about
Oh.
10 more minutes.
Oh, someone. Oh, you're
Oh,
in.
we
Absolutely
didn't add the-
ridiculous.
This thing, the shell,
Okay.
this, the bevel, that, whatever it is.
We didn't add the little laser repeaters.
Oh, yeah.
Underneath the front wings, the little size ones underneath the front wings there.
You could probably just
On the
solidify
gimbal.
that. There you go. And then the guns, as Jared said.
And then we have to get rid of the iridescent paint.
Why?
Oh, really?
Was that in the feedback? Oh, I guess we put it in because it was.
We put it in because it was
Yeah.
an alien manufacturer.
What's-
Manufacturer.
What's our size colour? It's like deep blue and mid grey, isn't it?
Black and orange.
Our size black and orange.
I don't know.
You're doing the Polaris, not that.
I know. I'm just trying to think. It's like maybe I've been doing all my work.
The RSI logo, the logo.
It does have the orange.
is
Yes, it's
black,
tertiary
orange,
colour is
Black
orange.
orange and
Yeah, you're right,
like
actually.
like a gunmetal
Yeah.
kind of, or like a
Yes.
sheet metal,
Yeah, you are. You are.
not
correct.
gunmetal.
Yo, look at that.
Yeah, underslung, so they can gimbal.
We're gaming.
I'm just changing the materials.
We're done. The feedback's done.
Genon Tadnik says 2 weeks on this. Jared's officially completely run out of ideas. But you're still here watching.
You're still here watching, yeah. I'll admit that. People complain about a lot of things,
Yeah, I
Jared.
can confirm
just
everything on this sheet
don't
is accounted
even
for.
worry about it.
So well done, Albert.
I wouldn't at this point.
I guess we can render it now. Once these guns are in position.
Oh, you put them at the ends.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, you will get more range of motion that way.
Let's get rid of the color.
Yeah.
Not for my choice. There, at all. First try.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Ah, no, wait.
That's pretty
It was
close.
already here.
Do we have a decal, like an RSI decal we can put on the wing?
No, it's with me. Didn't have enough time to prepare.
That's fair enough.
Do you want more matte? Just imagine there are...
Yeah.
Maybe hide the component boxes now as we know they fit, because they never look nice in the final render, do they?
Nah.
Even in game, like when we're working on this, we have like these placeholder boxes, but usually we just hide the layer because they get spawned on in game later.
Do you know the font that RSI uses?
No, no idea. I have the font, I just don't know what it is. Do it in like Comic Sans.
Yes.
There's a new CEO in charge of RSI.
That's right, he's in and he's making a statement.
I don't remember how to change it, so no. Maybe Leith knows it.
Oh, but he's banned in the chat, we can't ask him. Of all people, Leith would know how to change it to Comic Sans.
He's back in the chat.
He's back in. Leith, how do we do it?
It's too late.
He's going to say something that gets him banned again. There's no way we can... He won't be serious. Oh, wait, you've done it. There you go. That'll do. That's
This is not going to tell you because you messed with his mouse.
I mess with his mouse
I
because,
think that's fair.
because it changed my font.
Yeah, he changed your font. This is his area of expertise. He knows how to do this stuff. Do it the yellow, maybe, that Jared was mentioning. I don't know if it'll look good,
No.
to be fair. No, it doesn't look good.
Too much light. Whitish.
There we go. Oh, do you know what we could do? I don't like how easy it is to do in Blender, but can you put like blinky lights on it? You know, like,
Can put lights, not let them blink.
okay, put some lights on it then. And you got like a minute. Yeah, like a little... Nice. Get your render.
Don't render it. We just show it in like this and put cycle on. Don't crash.
How much longer do we got?
The light is pointing
Oh,
directly
thank
on
God.
that.
Hallelujah. Only 5 minutes.
Oh, there you go.
Beautiful.
Oh, there we go. Not a bad way to spend an hour. And of course, this is all still from what is essentially one silhouette from one thumbnail.
Yeah.
How many thumbnails would you actually create?
It depends by the shape and the situation. I can say that we had 17 for the pulse.
I will also be going into game chat to see if I've earned the Xenothreat armor or I need to, you know. Hang on just a minute, chat.
You had 17 different thumbnails, 17 different silhouettes, shapes for the pulse alone.
Yes.
Before you even got into
Yeah,
details.
we had 9 for the student, for example, and 3 for the storm. So it depends.
Yeah, and in these 2 hours, we've done one with some
Yes.
slight, with some slight change, you know, feedback changes, but essentially one silhouette, one thing.
Yeah, and it's a very junky. When we present stuff, especially to the high direction of the company, we try to polish it a little more.
Suffice to say, there's a lot of work that goes into making these.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Or fortunately, yes.
Show the animation of it getting in.
No, it's broken.
Yeah, so I remember he accidentally
It
deleted all
just
the
kicked
animations.
my phone.
Well, that does it for this week's show. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Thank you again to Dan and to Alberto. Jeez.
After all we've been through.
This is my
the
7th
end.
time here.
It's the end of can you think of how much better these shows would be if they were like a Tuesday when I was still fresh and not the end of Friday? Thanks for joining us. What's that other show we make? ISC comes back next week. ISC comes. What's it called? ISC comes back next week with the first of a 3 interesting and unique episodes. I hope you'll tune in and check them out. And then, of course, we'll be back here next week. Next week's SCL is another game dev special. We've got members of the environment team on, and we are going to create a forward operating base as seen in the upcoming Pyro system. So come on back to check that out. For Star Citizen Live,
Forward
I'm Jared.
operating
That's
base.
Alberto. That's
Dan.
Dan. Thanks for watching. If check the Bar Citizen next this week is International Bar Citizen Weekend. If you're in Manchester, Austin, Los Angeles, Frankfurt, or Montreal, there's probably a Bar Citizen near you happening this week. Good chance of many devs and folks showing up. So check out the RSI website for details on that. And take care. And show them Brian one more time. Go ahead. I know you want to.
I have it on my best.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.
Doggo. Hey, doggo. Okay. Now then. Let's pull up our side launcher. Wonder if we have an update yet. Probably do. Which is going to be a pain and a half. No update. Live. Now, acknowledge. Can I reactivate on this? Pre-established stream. Let's see what ends up. Let's see it. Anything? On chat. It's being difficult again. Hey. Where is it? Oh, delete. Thank you. Oh. Is there not a live here? I don't see it. Let's see what's going on. Well, apparently it's trying to send data and it's not working. Never mind. It'll be fine. We'll deal with that later. All right, I'm just checking something. I'm seeing if the Xeno threat armor got added to actual account or no. Or if I have to complete another mission, get it. Let's see if we do. I don't have time to play a long game today, which I did, but and it kind of does. Right. And just a sec, chat. Just a second. All right. DDF attack on. All right, let's go to contracts. Priority. Can't pull it up. Okay. Right. Right. So. This is that light armor. Okay, let's look. Just in case I've already earned it. Or do I have to go through another mission to... Huh. Well, that's kind of weird. So, I'm confused. Am I supposed to go run another mission? Okay. Well, it's 3 o'clock. I have a Stargazers Club meeting tonight. These missions can drag on. I wish I could say I had time to do this. I really do. But unfortunately, I don't. This sucks. I really wish I could stick around. But it's just, yeah, it's not conducive for me. Geez, engagement is terrible today. Yeah, today's gonna be terrible, a terrible one. Unless I stream later tonight. Which I might, if this is how things are gonna be, because this is ridiculous. So. I'm going to send my one viewer over on Twitch. Somewhere, I don't know where yet. Great info runners. Info runners. I've never rated them before. Executing all of them. Go say hi to the info runners, guys. 07, everyone.
And I don't think anyone's voted him on.